Let's start with Michigan State. Michigan State, I would say probably the most impressive win of the year. Prior to this, the most impressive win of the year was winning on the road against Maryland. But this game really encapsulated the Michigan State experience. You had a first half of no touchdowns. You were up 12-0 at the end of the half. Then Iowa kind of comes storming to life a little bit. Aiden Childs gets a touchdown. He has just the one interception. Michigan State able to just keep themselves ahead and avoid any blown leads or anything like that. Uh, this to me was Aiden Childs' best game for one. Like, I don't know how you can look at it any other way. 256 yards, 8.5 average, touchdown and an interception, 81 QBR. You know, is it perfect? No, but he also had 51 yards on the ground. This was definitely his best game, and this to me flashed that potential that Aiden Childs definitely has for Michigan State in the future, and it's the reason why he has continued to play. I heard somebody, I think it was this game saying, "Oh my gosh, we got to put Tommy Schuster in," and I didn't say anything, but I wish I did because you have to be out of your mind if you think Tommy Schuster is going to do anything different than what Aiden Childs is doing. Okay, there's a reason Tommy Schuster is the backup to Aiden Childs because he is clearly not winning that job. All right, if you want to destroy Aiden Childs' confidence, yeah, put in Tommy Schuster in a Big Ten matchup at night on homecoming. Do that. That's a great idea. Really, really going to help him out. But on the ground, Michigan State's K'Ron Lynch Adams had 86 yards on 15 carries. Not amazing in terms of you know individual runs, but overall, K'Ron Lynch Adams was pretty effective. Nick Marsh continues to be a very, very good receiver. 113 yards for him. Montorie Foster Jr. have a game, 100 yards on 5 catches as well. Uh, I've been very disappointed in Jack Velling all year. He really has never been involved on this offense. He's had a couple of nice catches, but he's never really done much of anything on the offense. But Nick Marsh, he's starting to develop that chemistry with Aiden Childs, and I think that could be a very nice duo of quarterback, wide receiver for Michigan State. Both those guys, obviously, only where to go is up. You would think for the both of them. So yeah, great stuff in there, and the turnovers dropping drastically is massive. We're not fumbling the ball at the 1 yard line. We're not throwing terrible interceptions. You did have one interception, and you had a couple of balls that were lucky not to be intercepted. But the box score cannot lie. All right, you only threw the one interception. I'm not going to fault you for the defense not making a play if it bailed you out. That's just football, right? That's just sports, frankly. Uh, and the defense has continued to kind of keep us in games against teams that we are comparable to, right? Like Iowa is a team that we were comparable to, and the defense kept us in this game. They gave us that 12-0 lead that we took and ran away with, right? There was no looking back at that point. We were up 12-0, and then that was it. We just ran away with it. And Iowa kind of came close, but they never could get back on top. They could never, like, as soon as we took that 12-0 lead, it was over because the defense was not going to let them score. And you get the interception as well. Hold Cade McNamara. Shout out Michigan. He just cannot win in Spartan Stadium. 150 yards for him. You didn't not a single runner. Caleb Johnson, who was probably their best offensive player, held him to under 100 yards. Now, granted, it was 98 yards, and most of those, I will say though, most of those came from the big touchdown run he got. I want to say in the third quarter. So I'm not even gonna be that upset about the 98 yards because you probably take away that play and he is significantly lower. But yeah, I think that basically all of this summation is to say, does Michigan State have what it takes this Saturday to beat Michigan? I think so. I mean, and this maybe Michigan fan is calling me a homer and a Sparty, and that's fine. I am a actual graduate of the school that I root for. So yes, I cheer for Michigan State, and I try to stay somewhat positive. I look at this team, and then I look at how Michigan performs on a week to week basis, and both teams are inconsistent. Both teams are not good, roughly speaking, at consistently moving down the field and scoring on those drives. However, Michigan State, I think, has the advantage in the quarterback. Now, is Aiden Childs light years ahead of Jack Tuttle? No, he is not. He is at best probably at least his level. Like I I heard today some analysis of like, oh well, Aiden Childs, he's not been good. He's been very disappointing. And look, he hasn't been, Johnny Unitas, but he hasn't been, as terrible, I think, as many people were watching from the outside are saying. The interceptions are a problem, but that's what freshman quarterbacks do. Like I don't if you go back and you look at any young quarterback, one of the things they're going to do a lot, and this is true in the NFL, this is true in college, this is true at any level. Like the big thing that will be a problem is the turnover. And since that Oregon game, so from the Oregon game onward, I think he's thrown just 2 interceptions. Now, granted, it's 2 interceptions in as many games, but again, like if he controls the football and he has shown an ability to move down the field in pressure situations this year, I think he is going to be able to steal you wins this year. And you might say he already stole you one with this Iowa win. I don't think it's really all that far fetched. And I think if Michigan fan is honest with himself, I think Michigan fan would agree. I don't think it's a bygone conclusion that Michigan's just going to out talent Michigan State. I mean, I don't want to be, overly, on the other side of it, but I don't know that Michigan can out talent a lot of teams. Like, as far as I'm concerned, they got the same record as us, and we'd probably lose the same games that they lost. Like, we might even win the same games that they won. Maybe not the USC game, but you get my point. Like, it's comparable. Right? It's not like we're so far beyond. It's not like last year or the year before that, where we are so far beyond what Michigan is. And it's going to be at Michigan, so that's never going to be easy. But do I imagine this is going to be 40-0 at the half like it was last year? No. I mean, if it is on either end, it's a total disaster for whoever's team this is occurring to. So, am I, Michigan State is going to win by 100? No, I'm not. Am I Michigan State very well could win this game if it's close near the end? Yeah. If Michigan State goes up gets to, 20 24 points, I got a hard time believing that Michigan is going to be able to score consistently. They cannot throw the ball, and Michigan State has a pretty good secondary with, guys like Darius Snow out there and Ed Woods and Charles Brantley, all those guys in our secondary, very solid players. I don't even know who Michigan's going to be throwing the ball to Loveland a lot, I imagine. It's really just going to be a matter of who is going to be able to move more effectively down the field on offense when both these teams have shown inconsistency at best. So I think it's going to be a good game. Ultimately, I mean, maybe it might not be the most entertaining game, but I think it will be a close back and forth game. And it's a rivalry game. These games usually are, obviously last couple of years notwithstanding, usually these games are pretty close. When the teams are comparable, the games are usually pretty close. You can go back throughout the years when both teams are ranked or when both teams weren't ranked, the game usually looks pretty close. So it'd be nice for Jonathan Smith to get his first win against Michigan and to get it on the road. That'd be a huge thing for his start here. I think that would, buy him more time for sure. And yeah, I think Michigan State, they're ironically enough, a win next week would actually give us the over, because I believe the over under for Michigan State this year was 4.5. So we got to win one more game for the over to hit. And I remember all those people laughing at Aiden Childs for saying to take the over. And I want to put some clarification on this before we wrap this up. He did not say, and he clarified this later, he did not say take the over on every single spread. That's not what he said. They asked him about the season and about the over-under, and he said, take the over. And he clarified he was not talking about the game specifically. At that point, it would have been the Florida Atlantic game. He was talking about the season total wins, which was 4.5 by most sports books. So anyway, that's all I got on that. So maybe Michigan State will win. I don't know. We'll be live. We'll be watching it live together, and hopefully I don't have to be sad this weekend. Hi, it's me again. If you enjoyed what you just saw, hit the like and subscribe button. We do live shows every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you there.